Hello everyone, this is Pippin Williamson with Pippin's Pages and PippinsPlugins.com, and in part 7 of writing your first WordPress plugin, this may be the last and final section, we'll kind of see how it ends. But anyway, in part 7 I'm going to show you how to extend what we did in the previous section, in the previous part 6. What we did there is we actually created the plugin options that allowed us to save the Twitter URL of the user so that that URL could be outputted in the link that is displayed on the front end of the site at the bottom of each post. You can see that link right here where it says follow me on Twitter, and that Twitter link actually goes to my Twitter account that I set right here, so it goes to this URL. So what I'm going to show you now is how to add in a couple of additional options. I'm going to show you a couple option types, and then how to use those in your plugin realistically. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to show you the basics of what we can use these plugin options for, and how we can really use it to expand what our plugin does and how useful our plugin is, especially how useful it is to the end user. One of the ideas when you're writing a plugin is to make it as easy to use as possible. Not every single person that's using a plugin is a developer that really knows their stuff. Some people barely know what a plugin is. They simply know I install this and I get this functionality. So the idea is to make it as easy as possible. So we're going to expand our plugin by adding a couple more options. The first thing that I want to add is simply a checkbox on the options page that allows you to enable or disable the front end effects of the website. Of the plugin, excuse me. So basically we're going to add a checkbox that will allow us to enable or disable this box right here. And to do that, we're first going to go to our plugin code and we're going to open up the adminpage.php function file. And then what we want to do is we're going to add in a new section, and to do that we're simply going to follow our current options structure. So we're going to add in a heading first, and that is simply going to be, we're just going to call it enable. Just like that. And then we're going to add in our paragraph tags just like before. Oops, having some trouble with my tab key. There we go. And now let's add in our label. We're going to give it our same class as before. For equals, remember for, this is going to be the ID of the option name, or the option field, excuse me, which is mfwp_settings, and then bracket enable. And this last option can be whatever you want. It simply just needs to match with all of the options. So we're just going to do it like that. Okay, so there's our label, and now I'm just, to make this a little easier, I'm going to copy this right here, and now we're going to add in the checkbox. This is just going to be a regular HTML checkbox field. So we're going to do first this, ID, name equals the same thing, type is going to be a checkbox, and then the value itself on a checkbox only needs to be one thing. It just needs to be 1. The reason that is actually used so that when these options are saved, this checkbox is actually interpreted as being posted. If that doesn't make sense, don't really worry about it too much, and just know that that's what it does. Okay, so let's do that first, and then I'm going to show you. There's one other step that we have for this option for checkboxes, but I'll show you in a moment. So we've done that, and now we have this nice little checkbox. But due to the nature of the way that checkboxes work, I'm actually going to swap the label and the input field around so that it looks like that. It's just a little bit cleaner. And why don't we go ahead and do that with our text field as well. There, I think that looks a little better. That's a little cleaner, like that. So now the idea is that if they want to display the Twitter link, they'll simply check this box, hit Save Changes, and then go over here, and this would be displayed or not displayed. So now you should notice something is that the checkbox didn't remain checked. In order to do that, we actually have to perform a check on our checkbox that determines whether or not this checkbox should be checked when the page is loaded. And to do that, we're going to do this. We're going to use the PHP checked function, like this. And basically, we're going to check to see whether the value of this option is 1. And that's why we have the value 1 right here. So to do that, we simply do this. Oops, just like that. And now this function will automatically output and will make this checkbox checked if this option has been saved as checked. So let's try it now. Okay, so let's hit save. Oh, and it looks like it did not work. So I did something wrong. Let's figure out what I did wrong really quickly. I'm not quite sure what I did wrong. Okay, there's the issue. The problem is that actually I've missed an S here in my settings name. So if we just simply change this, click that, and now let's copy these over here. And now that should work just like that. So let's take a look. And yes, now it works. Okay. So now this checked function basically allows us to save and determine whether or not the value is checked or unchecked, and then to make the checkbox checked or unchecked when we load the page. So the idea now is to be able to check this box in order to show the follow me on Twitter link. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. So we're going to open up another file. We're going to go to display functions, and right here what we're going to do is we're going to say if is singular and mfwp underscore options enable equals true, then display it. So let's take a look. Does it display? Yes, it's displayed. Okay, so our checkbox is checked. So let's uncheck it. And now it does not display. So now I can very easily enable or disable the output. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do, and you could, real quick, let me talk about checkboxes real quick. Checkboxes can be used for tons of things. This is a really simple example where we're using it to simply turn on or turn off the output of this right here, this Twitter link. We can use them for who knows what, anything we want. We could have an extra link in here that says, okay, do you want to display a Facebook link? Do you want to display a LinkedIn link? Do you want to display a Google Plus link, etc.? So we could have a checkbox for each one. So checkboxes are extremely useful for this type of thing. The next thing that I want to show you is, let's imagine that we are creating a color schema. So let's add in a drop-down field that will allow you to choose the theme of your output, so your color scheme. So let's first go ahead and create a new header, and I'm just, to make this faster, I'm just going to copy and paste. And let's call it theme. And now what we're going to do is this. We're going to create the select field. Just like this. And then we're going to have each of the options. So to do the options, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. Let me just show you an easy way real quick, and that is to put each of your options, and let's just call them styles, into an array like this. Blue, red. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use what's called a for each. And this basically says that for each of the elements inside of this array, blue and red, we're going to do something. So in this case, we're actually, let me change this just a little bit. So in this case, for each of the elements in that array, we're going to output an option. So option value equals style, and then output style again right here. Closing option. Okay, so let's take a look and see what that looks like. Here it is, blue and red. So now what we need to do, if we go in here and hit save, first of all, you'll notice that blue is selected, not red. So in order to do that, here's what we do. We first say, hold on, I'm going to do a little bit of indenting, and we're going to say this. If style equals, oops, nope. If theme equals style, so basically if the saved option is equal to the same style that we're currently on, selected equals that may look a little bit convoluted, but it works quite well. Else, we're just going to set selected to nothing. Just like that. And now, right here, we will echo selected. And now, you'll see it saves our color scheme, whichever one that we save. So in this case, let's do red. Okay, and now what we should do is we need to go and output the selected color in our box. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to do p class equals Twitter message style. Okay, and now actually, nope, not quite like that. Like this, sorry. Theme. So now what it's going to do is it's going to output whichever option that we have selected as the theme. So if we go over here now, and let's take a look at our source, we see it says Twitter message red. If I change this to blue, it says Twitter message blue, as you can see right there. So now what I can do is go over to my CSS, and I can say .Twitter message .blue color blue. Twitter message .red color red border red, something like that. And then I would get rid of the duplicate styles. I would style it however I wanted, do whatever need be, and now we can see, okay, so now that we have the blue style selected, everything is blue. Now if I go back over here and choose the red style, everything is red, or almost everything. There, now we have a red color scheme. So using a select dropdown is a really good way to let your users choose the theme for the output of your plugin. So that makes all of a sudden makes your plugin a lot more powerful as well. Note that the select that I've shown you here is pretty simple, and there's a lot of ways that you could enhance it. There's better methods to do it, but this is probably one of the simpler methods that will make it much easier when you're starting out. So that's pretty much all that I want to show you. We've gone through a lot of things with this plugin. I've shown you everything from starting the plugin to adding the initial output, a few conditional tags that you can use in ways that you can control the output of your plugin. I've shown you how to create the admin page. I've shown you how to save the options and use the options in the plugin to control it. I've shown you how to load scripts and styles. So hopefully over the course of this 7-part series, you've gotten a pretty good grasp on a lot of basics in writing WordPress plugins. I've shown you everything from basic to advanced techniques. I've tried to, the majority of the time, show you best practices. There are definitely some times where I have not done everything like I should. An example is staring me in the face right now. This string right here should be localized, just like these are right here. But even though I've neglected to do everything perfectly as I should have if this was a production plugin, I've shown you everything that you need to know in a variety of ways. So hopefully, if you were to use this, you would then go back and correct those places that I've missed, that I've neglected to do as I should, etc., etc. So anyway, it would be great to see some feedback if you have followed this series and you've now either mimicked this plugin, created a completely different plugin, or done anything of the kind. I would love to hear about it. Feel free to post your results. Feel free to send me the plugin that you've created by following this series. Any other feedback you have, criticisms, etc. It'd be great to hear from you. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me through the series. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.